Marriage is one of the most important decisions a man will ever make. It doesn't just affect emotions. It shapes your future, your peace, and the direction of your life. Yet many men enter marriage guided by attraction, social pressure, or temporary emotional highs, rather than clear awareness. Attraction can fade, emotions can shift, but marriage remains. This is why awareness matters more than excitement. This video is not about judging women or creating negative narratives. It's about helping men understand what truly matters in a long-term partnership, beyond beauty, charm, or surface-level chemistry. Because while attraction may open the door, character is what keeps a relationship standing. Many men are taught to focus on how a woman makes them feel in the moment. Few are taught to observe patterns, emotional stability, communication style, and long-term compatibility. Without awareness, small red flags are ignored, and temporary feelings are mistaken for lifelong readiness. Understanding female psychology is not about control or manipulation. It's about clarity. When you understand emotional dynamics, you stop guessing, overthinking, and reacting impulsively. You begin to choose with calm judgment instead of emotional urgency. Strong decisions are not rushed. They are observed, tested, and understood over time. Marriage should never be a leap taken in confusion. It should be a step taken with confidence, clarity, and emotional intelligence. With that awareness in mind, let's begin. A high-value woman is emotionally stable. This does not mean she is emotionless or detached. It means her emotions do not control her decisions, her words, or her behavior. Emotional stability shows up in how she communicates. She can express frustration, disappointment, or concern without turning the situation into chaos. She speaks clearly instead of reacting impulsively. She chooses understanding over emotional escalation. An emotionally mature woman does not rely on pressure, silent treatment, or unpredictable mood swings to feel secure or influential. She understands that emotional manipulation damages trust and creates distance rather than connection. Instead of using emotions as tools, she uses communication as a bridge. Marriage naturally amplifies emotions. Responsibilities increase. Stress appears. Life becomes more complex. If emotional instability exists before marriage, it rarely disappears afterward. It intensifies. This is why emotional stability matters so deeply. It creates safety. It allows disagreements to be resolved, rather than repeated. It gives both partners room to breathe without fear of emotional volatility. Emotional stability is not about perfection. It is about self-control, awareness, and accountability. A woman who can regulate her emotions brings peace into a relationship, not uncertainty. When emotional stability is present, love grows stronger with time. When it is missing, even love can feel exhausting. This quality alone can determine whether a marriage becomes a place of growth or constant emotional tension. One powerful quality many men overlook is accountability. It may not sound exciting, but it determines whether a relationship grows or slowly breaks down. A woman who is ready for marriage can say, "I was wrong," without turning the conversation into blame, excuses, or emotional defense. She doesn't shift responsibility to avoid discomfort. She understands that admitting mistakes is not weakness, it is maturity. Accountability means she does not rewrite reality to protect her ego. She doesn't change the story later or minimize her actions when emotions settle. Instead, she stays consistent with the truth, even when it challenges her self-image. This quality shows emotional strength and self-awareness. It creates trust, because you know conversations will be honest, not distorted. Problems are addressed directly, instead of being buried under emotional reactions. Growth in any relationship requires responsibility from both sides. Without it, small misunderstandings turn into ongoing conflicts. Resentment builds, communication becomes defensive instead of productive. When accountability is missing, relationships become emotional battlefields. Each discussion feels like a fight to win, rather than an issue to solve. Over time, this drains emotional energy and destroys connection. A marriage-ready woman understands that progress comes from reflection, not denial. She chooses growth over ego and resolution over control. Accountability doesn't guarantee perfection, but it creates a relationship where mistakes become lessons, not weapons, and that is the foundation of long-term stability. Healthy women respect boundaries. This means they understand where individuality begins and control ends. They do not test limits endlessly or push against boundaries to gain reassurance or power. A woman ready for a committed relationship does not try to control your time, decisions, or sense of purpose. She does not create guilt when you focus on work, growth, or personal direction. Instead, she respects your independence and understands that a strong relationship is built on mutual freedom, not restriction. Healthy women feel safe around men who lead calmly and consistently. Calm leadership creates emotional security, it removes confusion and reduces the need for control. When leadership is steady, respect flows naturally. Respect is not submission, it is emotional maturity. It means recognizing differences without trying to dominate them. It means trusting instead of testing, and understanding instead of demanding. Without respect, attraction slowly fades. What begins as interest turns into frustration. Small boundary violations grow into resentment. Over time, emotional tension replaces connection. Respect allows attraction to remain stable because both individuals feel valued rather than managed. It creates space for admiration instead of resistance. A marriage thrives when boundaries are honored, not challenged. When respect is present, love feels safe, calm, and sustainable. When it is missing, even strong attraction cannot prevent emotional distance. Boundaries protect relationship. Respect preserves them. Words are easy. Anyone can promise change, effort, or understanding in the moment, but behaviors where truth quietly reveals itself. A high-value woman is consistent. What she says today aligns with how she behaves tomorrow. Her actions don't change when emotions cool down or attention shifts. She doesn't offer commitment during conflict, only to disappear once things feel calm again. Consistency shows reliability. It tells you that her intentions are real, not emotional reactions. You don't have to guess what version of her will appear next week or next month. Her behavior creates stability rather than uncertainty. In relationships, inconsistency creates confusion. It makes promises feel empty and communication feel unreliable. Over time, this erodes trust, even when intentions were good. A consistent woman understands that effort is not a one-time event. It's a pattern. She follows through even when it's inconvenient or emotionally uncomfortable. She shows up not just when emotions are high, but when commitment is required. Trust is built slowly through repeated behavior. It grows when words and actions match again and again. Without trust, marriage becomes fragile. With trust, it becomes resilient. Consistency does not mean perfection. It means dependability. It means being emotionally present, beyond temporary feeling. When a woman is consistent, trust forms naturally, and trust is the foundation of a marriage that lasts. Marriage thrives on support, not competition. When two people begin to compete inside a relationship, connection slowly turns into tension. A healthy woman understands that marriage is a partnership, not a contest. She wants to grow with you, not above you or against you. Your progress does not threaten her sense of worth. Instead of measuring herself against your success, she sees it as something shared. Growth becomes mutual rather than divided. A supportive woman encourages your goals without trying to reshape you into someone you are not. She doesn't pressure you to abandon your purpose or change your direction to fit her comfort. She respects your identity and understands that ambition is part of who you are. She also does not compete for control or recognition. There is no need to prove superiority or dominate decisions. Support shows up as encouragement, patience, and emotional steadiness. Security plays a key role here. A woman who feels secure does not fear your ambition. She does not interpret your drive as distance or rejection. Instead, she feels safe being part of your journey, even when that journey requires focus and effort. Marriage becomes strong when both partners pull in the same direction. Support creates unity. Competition creates resistance. When support is present, success feels shared rather than lonely. When competition is absent, growth feels natural rather than forced. Every marriage faces conflict. Disagreements are not a sign of failure. They are a natural part of two individuals building a life together. What truly matters is not the presence of conflict, but how that conflict is handled. A high-value woman views problems as situations to solve, not weapons to use. She does not turn disagreements into emotional attacks or power struggles. Instead of trying to win the moment, she focuses on protecting the relationship. She listens with the intention to understand, not to interrupt or defend. She reflects on what is being said, rather than reacting instantly. And when improvement is needed, she is willing to adjust her behavior without resentment. Emotionally mature women do not escalate conflict just to gain control or emotional dominance. They don't raise their voice, bring up the past, or intentionally hurt to feel powerful. They understand that emotional victories come at the cost of long-term connection. Marriage is not a competition where someone must lose for someone else to win. It is a shared structure that both partners are responsible for maintaining. When conflicts are handled with maturity, they strengthen trust instead of breaking it. Avoid relationships where arguments feel like emotional battles. Choose those where disagreements lead to clarity, growth, and understanding. Marriage isn't about winning arguments, it's about building something stable, respectful, and lasting, together. Marriage should never be a gamble driven by fear of being alone. Too often, men rush into commitment because they feel pressure from society, family, or the anxiety of loneliness. Decisions made from fear rarely lead to long-term happiness. A high-value woman demonstrates qualities that make commitment a natural choice rather than a leap of faith. Emotional stability shows she can handle stress and life's ups and downs calmly. Accountability ensures she owns her actions and communicates honestly. Respect for boundaries maintains balance and mutual trust. Consistency aligns her words with her behavior, building reliability. Growth mindset demonstrates she can reflect, learn, and improve over time. When these qualities are present, commitment becomes logical, not risky. It is based on clarity and observation, not fleeting attraction or emotional pressure. Strong men don't rush marriage. They take time to see patterns, understand emotional dynamics, and evaluate compatibility. They act from awareness, not impulse. They stay calm, even when emotions run high. They observe carefully without judgment or haste. And above all, they choose clarity over emotion. Marriage is one of life's most important decisions. Choosing with awareness ensures it is a source of stability, growth, and connection. Rushing out of fear only leads to uncertainty. Clarity, patience, and emotional intelligence make commitment safe, strong, and lasting.